Cruise news time. Wow, it's been an interesting week in cruise news. We've been talking a lot about changes in the pre-cruise testing policy. Well, now we have to talk about changes in the vaccination requirements for a major cruise line that really could have global impact. And also, do you know the terms Friends of Bill W. or Friends of Dorothy? What does that mean on a cruise ship? Carnival getting an old new cruise ship or a new old cruise ship. That's the way to say it. They're getting a new old cruise ship to go in service in November. And what about Crystal Cruises? What's going to happen to those cruise ships? Well, we may have an idea what's going to happen to one. There's a lot of cruise news. Cruise news. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with your latest cruise news updates, and let's just get right into the cruise news. Cruise news story number one: Carnival is putting into service a new cruise ship, but it's an old cruise ship. Carnival Cruise Line acquiring the Costa Luminosa from sister brand Costa to put into service as the brand new Carnival Luminosa. Carnival Luminosa will come into service in Brisbane, Australia this year in November, and then it will be doing Australian cruises from October to April every year, and then transitioning each year up to Alaska to do Alaskan cruises from May to September. Now, the original talk was that the Costa Magica, not the Costa Luminosa, would move over from Costa to Carnival, but the Magica is going to stay where it's at in the Costa fleet. This will result in some cancellations for people on Costa Luminosa. Costa is currently in the process of reaching out to the passengers that were canceled on the Costa Luminosa to help them get rebooked or to provide compensation for that cancellation. This story is kind of exciting to me because we went through a whole series of stories where we had Carnival cruise ships leaving the fleet, going to the scrapyard. At least we have a repurposing of another Carnival brand asset, the Luminosa, coming into the Carnival fleet with a specific purpose to serve people in Australia and to serve people in Alaska. This is good. Anytime that you see any of these companies adding more inventory so that they can accommodate more passengers, it's a good sign for the cruise business. So way to go, Carnival. Way to hold on to the Luminosa. Cruise news story number two involves the cruise ship, the Crystal Endeavor. If you remember, Crystal was one of those cruise companies that went out of business this year when its parent company, Genting, ran out of money. There was a whole bunch of interesting things that happened around these Crystal cruise ships, including them being seized, them being arrested by the government, held off the coast of the Bahamas, as there was some determination as to what happens to these cruise ships. Well, the word in the wind is that Silversea will be purchasing the Crystal Endeavor. The story is being heavily reported by the cruise website Cruise Industry News. They're citing sources that they have saying that this acquisition is in play, and also pointing to some trademark filings that Silversea has done around the name Endeavor. Right now, Silversea is not commenting, which is their practice. They don't comment on potential transactions, but it does seem highly probable that we will hear an official announcement sometime soon that Silversea is acquiring the Crystal Endeavor. Still holding out hope that somebody resurrects the Crystal brand. There's a lot of brand loyalty with Crystal Cruises. But the hardware is sitting there unused right now, and there is a requirement for debts to be paid, and one of the ways to pay off the debt is to sell assets, and of course the cruise ship, probably the most valuable asset for a cruise company. And so, it makes sense to see these ships go to other places, but again, I'm still holding out hope that Crystal as a brand will be revived at some point. Any Crystal fans out there, what do you think about the Endeavor moving over to Silversea? Leave a comment below. Now we got two more topics to cover today. First, I want to talk about what the terms Friends of Bill W. and Friends of Dorothy mean on a cruise ship. And then I have to talk about this vaccination policy change that really could be the beginning of something that could have a global impact. But before we get there, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, I'm your guide to that cruise life. I'm here every day at 12:15 p.m. Eastern with an update what's going on in cruising, and you can be one of the first people to see those updates by hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell. Be a part of the notification squad. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. Thank you in advance. Well, let's talk about the terms Friends of Bill W. and Friends of Dorothy. A lot of times in your cruise planner, you will see these activities listed. And Friends of Bill W., well, that's just the code word for Alcoholics Anonymous. One of the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous was Bill W., and it's a great thing that cruise ships do because there's definitely a lot of alcohol on cruise ships. And so a lot of people that are, struggle with that addiction, that are working through that program, it is good that they have a place where they can meet others and they can support each other. And so if you see Friends of Bill W. on the cruise ship, if you're somebody that's working through that program, or if you're somebody that's looking for support, or if you're, want to meet like-minded folks on the cruise ship, that's what Friends of Bill W. is. And there's also meetings for Friends of Dorothy. You see this one listed less and less. In the past, that was used to indicate meetups for people from the LGBTQ plus community. Less and less, because now you'll see just LGBTQ plus listed in the daily planner. I've seen those terms a lot. I don't think I've ever talked about what they meant, and I'm assuming that there's probably a level of curiosity around it. Friends of Bill W., Friends of Dorothy. There you go. There's also, is there any other things on cruises that you see that you're unfamiliar with? Leave a comment. We'll try to figure out what those are. All right, cruise news story number 4, and this feels like a big one to me. Celebrity Cruise Line has removed the vaccine requirement for cruise passengers 17 and younger on cruises in Europe. Now, if you're 18 or older, you still have to be vaccinated. Everybody still has to have a pre-cruise test. This is really kind of removing the pressure on families who may not want to get their minor children vaccinated. This really removes that pressure, allowing passengers 17 and under to cruise unvaccinated. Again, this is just for Europe, as we've talked about the last few days. Will it be as Europe goes, so will North America goes? We've seen that happen in the past, but it's going to be one of those things where there's a wave of inconsistency that is built. If there's travel policies globally all throughout the world that are inconsistent with North American travel policies, that could be that wave that puts the pressure to get some sort of alignment. The debate can rage, right? Whether or not vaccination should be required, whether or not masking protocol should be required. But again, I think the cry continues to be, whatever it is, at least let there be some sort of consistency. Consistency globally where possible, consistency in industries where possible. Again, it's interesting to see how all of this works out. I'm going to continue to advocate that if you are cruising right now, please know what the rules and the policies are and follow those policies. If you don't want to follow the policies, I would say don't go. Again, I think it's super disrespectful and super, I think it's an integrity issue that if you agree to go somewhere and follow the policies and then you don't follow the policies, I don't think that makes you brave. I don't think that means you're standing up against the man. It just, to me, it's an integrity issue. And so whether it's going to the muster drill, whether it's following any of the policies on the cruise ship, when you sign up to go cruising, when you sign up for that cruising service, they're going to provide you with something and you're going to provide them with something, and what you're providing them with is complying with the thing they lay out. And I don't know a plainer way to say it. Again, the debates to me are irrelevant about what the policies are. You know what the policies are getting on the cruise ship. You know what potentially could happen when you get on the cruise ship, and just follow the rules or don't go, right? I think that's the thing. And unfortunately, it's going to take time for all the policies to align the way that everybody wants them to align. And I guess that's all I'm going to say about that. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. Time for you to sound off. Leave a comment below. Do me a favor, hit the like button. This is Tony for Lido, Loca. Until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.